Realtor mom claims her terrible marriage ended before filing for divorce, but she denies accepting money from the entrepreneur to leave her husband. The mother of a realtor who allegedly accepted a real estate tycoon's offer of millions of dollars to leave her husband has stated that she never took a dime and that her dreadful, sexless marriage ended long before she filed for divorce. After her betrayed ex-husband sued Tamir Poleg, the CEO of Utah-based Real Brokerage, claiming the businessman ruined their marriage by making indecent proposal offers, Paige Steckling retaliated. The mother of two denied taking Poleg's $3 million offer to divorce her husband, telling the Daily Mail, "I wanted to do this cleanly, and I didn't want to be owned by anybody. My lived experience and the reality of my marriage are not reflected in the claims being made publicly." In the case, Michael Steckling, her ex-husband, said that before Poleg entered the picture and began pursuing her, he and Paige had never thought about divorcing. However, Paige, an independent real estate contractor who works for Poleg's company, stated that shortly after they were married in 2013, her marriage went south. "It was a horrible marriage," she declared. "It was awful when we didn't have sex for a full year." Additionally, Paige maintained that she had discussed the millions Poleg had offered her with her ex-husband, claiming she needed financial support because her children's father was frugal. "I had discussed financial support from Tamir with Michael, but in the end, I told him I didn't need or want it. So I told him I wouldn't take anything," she stated. It resembled our marriage's final attempt. Michael, who comes from a wealthy family, threatened to ruin me in court if I ever tried to leave him. As a fallback, I asked for financial assistance. I never had to use it. I never collected any money. According to the lawsuit, Paige filed for divorce in February of last year, a few days after Poleg sent her an email with instructions on how to access two $1.5 million installments that had been promised. Paige told the site, "My marriage ended because it was extremely unhealthy and untenable. After years of living with dynamic that includes emotional abuse and boundary-crossing conduct, I decided to leave for the sake of both my children's and my own well-being. It was not the outcome of an affair, nor was it a snap decision. After a subordinate confided in him about her marital problems, Poleg agreed to give her the money, but insisted it was only financial support." Poleg stated, "There were no offers, no romance, no interference." The Paige Steckling, Tamir Poleg controversy is not just a story about alleged financial influence or marital breakdown. It is a lens through which broader societal dynamics can be examined. At its core, this case highlights the intersection of personal autonomy, wealth, and public perception. Paige Steckling's insistence that her marriage was terribly unhealthy long before any financial offers came into play emphasizes a critical point often overlooked in sensationalized reporting. Individuals leave marriages for complex emotional, psychological, and practical reasons, not merely for financial gain. Her transparency about the state of her marriage and her open communication with her ex-husband regarding the alleged financial offer suggests that her decisions were grounded in personal agency and rational planning rather than external coercion. Legally, the case underscores the challenges in differentiating between well-intentioned support and actionable interference. While her ex-husband frames Poleg's actions as an inducement that disrupted the marital union, Paige's narrative positions the offer as ancillary to a marriage that was already failing. Courts examining these claims will need to parse intention versus impact and the presence or absence of coercion to determine whether liability exists. This is a reminder of the nuanced nature of marital law in cases involving third-party involvement and the limits of public assumptions. Socially, the story exposes the ways in which gendered narratives and media sensationalism can shape public judgment. Women in particular are often subjected to scrutiny when financial arrangements intersect with personal decisions, with assumptions about opportunism or moral failure frequently overshadowing more legitimate concerns such as emotional well-being, autonomy, and parental responsibility. Paige's insistence that she never took a dime reinforces that financial opportunity does not always translate to action or intent, challenging simplistic assumptions that wealth alone drives life choices. The workplace dimension adds yet another layer. Even absent any romantic involvement, the ethical implications of superior offering financial support to a subordinate during personal crises cannot be ignored. Transparency and clear boundaries are critical in maintaining trust, professionalism, and credibility, both legally and socially. Poleg's statements about providing support rather than interference highlight the fine line that professionals must navigate in blending personal and professional responsibilities. Ultimately, this story reflects the complexity of modern relationships where personal, financial, and professional spheres are intertwined, and where public perception can amplify misunderstandings. It underscores the importance of understanding context, respecting personal agency, and acknowledging that marriage breakdowns are rarely the result of a single event or external influence. For Paige Steckling, her story is framed not as a moral failing or transactional decision, but as a difficult yet deliberate choice to leave a marriage that was emotionally damaging, prioritizing her own well-being and that of her children. For observers in the media, the case is a cautionary tale about jumping to conclusions based on sensational headlines. While the narrative of cash offers and scandal is compelling, it only tells part of the story, the human element. The years of emotional strain, the personal deliberation, the care for children, and the effort to make decisions on one's own terms must remain central to any discussion of the case. In the broader cultural context, the Steckling, Poleg situation prompts reflection on how society views wealth, power, and influence in personal relationships. It challenges the notion that financial resources can override agency or morality, and serves as a reminder that the most meaningful decisions in life, marriage, divorce, and personal well-being, are rarely dictated by money alone. It is a complex case, legally, ethically, and socially, and it is unlikely to be resolved solely in the courtroom or in public opinion. Rather, it will continue to serve as an example of the delicate balance between autonomy, morality, and societal judgment in high-profile personal matters.